A family is described as someone who will literally do anything for their kid, whatever the cost.
But sorry to blow your metaphorical bubble, but not every channel is like this. There's a real dark side that no one seems to be discussing. These channels found out the more they exploit their kids for money, the more the money chain goes up. Blah, 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 blah. But rather than all this, I'd say morals are worth so much more. Like actually having empathy and compassion for your kids, rather than just staging great family personality / presence just for the sake of the camera. Is it really that worth it? It's definitely most visibly not, since the only thing you're really going to do is just make your kids' respect for you go directly down. So today on this video, we'll be discussing two of the most reputable channels for this behavior. I'll be starting with the Royalty family and then going on to Ryan's World. The Royalty family starting off with the most impactful. I feel a lot of compassion for Farhan, because if you've been living under a rock and don't know all these videos are framed and clickbait and they're all putting on an act for all these videos, I think you need to get out that Patrick Star's rack, start looking at some internet theories. On the 11th of November 2022, believe it or not, Pierre, better known as Farhan's dad, appeared on the Dad Challenge podcast, which was big news because he said everything about the Royalty family, about how he had to get a visa / US passport to go see his son. And at the same time, we'll get into a court situation about what's happening with that and why he had to delete every single one of his videos. Like, imagine you're in the place of a dad and you literally, whatever you do, cannot see your son because he's been used for monetary reasons against his will, and he can't even use the internet apparently. He's cut off from all of that, but that's not what you see in the videos. You know, everyone can fake their persona online, and that's why cybersecurity and everything online is so important for you to factor in. Like, Andrea and Ali don't actually like each other, they're just in here for the big bucks, okay? I mean, it's an agreement / contract with the family. Yes, since Farhan's the star of the show and if he goes, everything plummets down. They're just trying to keep him there for as long as possible. He knows this is not normal, yet he's being dragged along with this family fandom. So if anything goes wrong, he'll have to speak out. Like, it's not even about the money at this point. And at the future, seriously, he'll most likely have to get a lawyer / court case against his family. That's not what anyone wants to do, but if it comes to it, it might just have to be. Unless I don't really see them changing anytime soon. The morals have been explained, unless Andrea can actually come to her senses and see how much she lost. And if the lawyer doesn't let him see his son, he has permission to sue. At this point, forward 2 years or so, he still hasn't seen his son, from what it appears. So this is just horrible. I could never imagine being far away from my dad. I absolutely love my parents, and then struggling / to get back to my original dad. That's just a pickle of a situation. Don't get me wrong, this video is long, but it's mainly to make you aware of the bad side effects of this platform. At the same time, I really want Pierre to go see his son, because on his channel I've seen him go up and up, and they've just framed him in their video when they said Farhan's real dad on the Royalty family channel around 2 years ago to date, when all of this drama was happening, making him seem to be the protagonist, and 20 million people, that massive internet presence, believing them is just absolutely immature, childish behavior that I don't think anyone should be affiliated with. So in cases like this, nothing happens until proven guilty, which is a bit of a shame, but I get the reasoning behind it, because like any dad would go this far for their son. But of course, it's the internet. Not everyone's going to have a wide eye open and believe this kind of stuff.
Pierre in this case is basically the anchor being, hopefully he can get out of this abusive household and live his life.
I get what you mean, Jim Jam. The channel just feels so staged nowadays that I don't even watch it. As an 11-year-old, you can't really blame me. I used to watch the channel. It's a kid's channel, of course, and kids won't really be aware of that, how large and scale of a problem that is. And they won't understand if it's real, because they're more likely to believe anything online I experienced it, every kid experienced it. So if everyone could be aware of this, maybe the protesting outside like the court and everything is a great idea. He deserves it so much without words. And if you're commenting, Pierre, I wish you the best. I really am hoping for this goal of reuniting. In this case, it's kind of like putting your kid online without his permission, but he was too young at the age. He kind of just thought it was a fun thing, but then it turned into something truly awful that you have to fake for. You have to fake your smiles. You don't see what's behind the camera most of the time. These kind of channels, you just see what's right in front of the camera, what they want to show, opposed to the dark sides and the drama. I feel it's more genuine if you just show your authentic self, but these people, nuh-uh. I mean, I could feel for Ferran because he's literally seeming like he's being forced into this. And I respect Pierre for just agreeing to not show his son on camera and just live a normal, genuine life, because imagine being filmed 24/7, whatever you're doing. You're like, the only escape he really has is probably at school. And even then, I don't know if he's not allowed internet or if his parents supervise him, but apparently he's not allowed to use internet at home, but he definitely knows the impact. Probably planning an escape plan at school. Unless they supervise everything he does and his teachers are in on it as well, which would be awful. Seriously. Is he homeschooled or does he actually go to normal school? Please say he goes to normal school. And if this video somehow gets demonetized, if I ever get monetized in the future, I don't care. It's just for the good cause and the kindness of my heart that I just feel like this is absolutely crazy situation and needs to be addressed by someone. If not me, you can do this too. As well as that, first met Ale around the age of 3 years old. So 10 years plus of Pierre not seeing his son is absolutely absurd. Maybe I'm not the best person to point this out, but I know people and their eyes suggest that they're up to malicious activity. Not doing something right, as you can see by them. And Andrea, they just seem really smug about it. And that's not actual facial expressions for doing that type of stuff. They'd actually be in tears if they were actually genuinely talking about it rather than doing all this random stuff. And you know the continuity cut / him pausing? Basically, that's what I do whenever I'm thinking about a video. I'm like, but he's not doing that expression right. You're like thinking about something or thinking about what you're going to say. So it's obviously scripted. And he's not even genuinely smiling. He just feels awkward in the moment, doesn't want to do it, but he knows he'll be in so much trouble if he does. I also get what the host of this show means by how can you actually meet someone by meeting them for the first time and then starting a relationship unless you're desperate right there. That's not really how relationships go. You learn to like each other, right? You become friends first and then you start a relationship rather than diving deep right into it. How does that even work? Like, really? What? And when he said, I love you, Ali, he said it like, I love you. But like, when you actually mean it, you mean, I love you. You're like smiling. You can tell in the face. You're like, yeah, you can tell in the face every meticulous structure your face / facial expression. When I'm sad against my friends, I feel very robotic, like, yeah, that's cool and stuff. Yeah, he doesn't seem interested. I'm not going against the grain of offending any of these families, of course. Don't hate on them, but just know the cause, okay? But not only that, there was also a Darman video that was created making people in that community to believe that Ale and Andrea, well, Andrea was a news reporter who eventually they started a channel and became really successful, when that is absolutely not the case. I mean, Darman does exploit his employees, but I at least expected something, right?
I'm going to Mexico, and yet they've been to Mexico on vacation since then.
Yes, they went several times.
And at the same time, he's in danger. Real danger here, peeps. And as he described, if anything happens to him while he's in the US, etc., where they are located, it's either Ali or Andrea. This is a bit of a sidetrack, but genuinely, he feels like such a heartfelt, great guy that you can have a great chat with. Besides from all of this, he seems like such a great dad, and he's not the person he's been framed out to be. We don't know that totally. I'm just hoping Pierre is an absolute gem of a person, and every dad should be the same. But this abusive family relationship isn't just with this family channel, it's in multiple, many across the YouTube fan base. I'm just targeting to one really popular one, just to show you don't know what is behind the curtain a lot of the time. But before the marriage was totaled, they tried to reconcile it / make it be a better marriage than it was. Sadly, it didn't work out. I'm not making this up, peeps. It's serious matter, and in this video, it should show you what is going on and explain all of the details.
Pierre, it's a very short video, but this is what Pierre captured at that moment.
Yo no estoy haciendo nada. Vino a destrozar mi departamento.
I wanted to show you guys that one because that shows Andrea coming towards Pierre and physically assaulting him. Now, did you call the police and file a police report based on that video, on that set of violence?
On that video, no. I don't know why I didn't do it. But she, as you see in the video, she came and she hit me.
Yes.
I went to the floor. After that, I said, please, just go. And she left.
Pierre, and I might be wrong about this, but it sounds like this is what your life was anyway. And that's when her fame started increasing, her mind was changing. And then the cheating allegations, and she thought, well, I don't want this. And then you were done with her, which is then had her come up.
As they discussed, that's known as physical assault, since Andrea tried to hit him, etc., literally leaping onto him like a leech, but not in a good way, in a really bad way and gruesome. It probably didn't end well, even though he should have told someone, but everyone makes mistakes. You know when you're silent about serious matter because you don't really understand it, you don't want anyone to get in trouble, what they may think about you? That's probably how Pierre felt in the moment. He was so enraged with all this going on at the same time that he was a bit overwhelmed. He didn't know which side to be on and what to do. If you've been on the internet in the last decade, you may or may not have seen this crying video of Ferran, of real, true tears, like you cough when you cry, and you actually can't stop coughing because your throat's gone numb, because you just have so much tears and you can't really explain / talk about what you're trying to say. And personally, because it's Jim Jam style, I'm going to act out with the puppets. I'm not going to show the video just for privacy, etc. I'll show slight clips of the video, but that's not going to be the main focus. It's not that I don't want to show it, I don't know in this case if I'm the entitled one to actually show this. Even though it's been shown and shared across the entire internet, I don't know if I should personally be the one sharing it around. Interpret it with Andrea was supposedly kicking Ferran, that he wanted to be with his dad instead of his mum. It just kind of makes me tear up about all this going on, because it must feel so awful to see your son taken away from you, even if it's by the biological mother, etc., in a whiff, just like that. And then for like 10 years, 3 years plus, you don't even get to see your son, like, not with you. Because I could never imagine not being with my dad. My dad's an amazing human being and I absolutely love him. But it must be so difficult for Anne having to put on an act every few days / every single day, because they have to edit it as well. Just for the camera. Imagine being so out of the ordinary that you have to exploit your children online for monetary gain instead of spending loving, amazing time with them. I just want to put in a disclaimer here to any people who are really sensitive, etc., to maybe possibly not watching this part of the video, because it's nearly broke me into tears of how awful this situation is. In this case, he said yes in an upright manner, showing he really does want to stay with his dad and he doesn't want to be with his mum anymore. I know I'm going super in depth into this, that I probably shouldn't be going this in depth because it's literally making me shed a tear, but I think it goes unnoticed about what happens on the other side of these channels. The summary of their meeting in puppet explanation, because I don't want to show any faces, etc., is like this. So this is Ferran, awkward in the middle. This is the / Ali, I guess. And just imagine this is Andrea. Hey Ferran, please tell him a believable story on this script up here of how we actually didn't meet, but we think the audience wants to know how we met after doing a random party at the beginning. Okay, let's do it, Ferran. Do I have to? So they met in
Ryan's World is a family YouTube channel that is helmed by the currently teenaged individual known as Ryan Kaiji. The channel is hosted by himself, and the business side is run by his mother and father. Lone, and Shihon. Ryan also has 2 twin sisters that go by the names of Emma and Kate. The channel is mainly known for Ryan reviewing, playing with, and unboxing children's toys, ranging from giant Pixar Cars themed Kinder Surprise eggs to Thomas and Friends themed ball pits. Ryan began his career at the age of 4, and according to both him and his parents, he did it because he was inspired by seeing other toy reviewers. This led to him filming his first video, that being him opening a Duplo box. Thus Ryan's world was born, and many gateways opened to other channels such as this, like Hobby Kids TV for instance. Ryan has continued to be a YouTuber to this day at the age of 13, still doing mostly the same content, but with a few additions. The channel's popularity and skyrocketing numbers even led to a movie adaptation being greenlit. This info aside, the continuing consistency in the videos, not to mention Ryan's growing age, has led the channel to become quite controversial in more recent years. Some have criticised the fact that Ryan, a teenage boy, is still making videos only little children shall watch, plus how his demographic fails to grow to others, not to mention just how much his schedule affects his overall mental health. On a greater note, the behind-the-scenes drama extends to his parental units. They've been called many things by online goers: slave drivers, sadistic taskmasters, captains of misery, overall bad parents. Not only does this stem from their somewhat silencing in their son's say as to how things are run, but it also extends to the fact that at least one of them is harbouring a criminal record of sorts, with his mother being a convicted shoplifter from JCPenney and an evader of community service obligations, which in itself landed her a month in prison. The family themselves are now very wealthy also, with Ryan's net worth alone extending to $100 million American dollars as currently. They managed to reach 22 million within the channel's first year alone. This in itself opened up a massive rabbit hole for the channel when it's debated just how much Ryan himself gets to keep, and how much his parents actually putting away for himself and not them. Another aspect people have pointed out is within the channel banner, where eye bags can be made out under Ryan's eyeballs. This in itself is another concern of fatigue and overtiredness. It is the personal viewpoint of this documentary that these parents are being questioned on their positions as business partners and role models for their son, and kids in general, and to a larger extent their status as human beings, on account of the fact they may or may not be underground criminal masterminds. This can be attributed to the fact one of them is a convicted felon whose actions are now connected to the places she stole from, and their public image, plus need to be more wary. This aside, both their actions combined not only may or may not have affected Ryan's childhood, but maybe his adulthood as well. People fear the worst for the boy who grew up in a business, and the scary part is, boy could be made fun of, not to mention his sisters. Who knows? All that is known is that one or more lives may be hanging in the balance, because of the destructive and callous ways of the accused money-grubbing menaces that are Lone and Shihon Kaiji.